first of all, welcome back to Rotherham United. We can tell by the big smile you've been wearing around the place for the last couple of days that you're pretty pleased to be back. Go into that a bit more.
Yeah, I'm delighted. It's almost happened on a number of occasions since I left the football club. 8 or 9 years ago. It's almost happened in numerous occasions, but the planets have never really lined up, either from a chairman and board point of view of mine. So it's not been there, but more recently it's come together. I'm talking about days here, so I'm a day or two. It's all happened very quickly, but yeah, I've come home and I met some people in the town last night when I went for a bite to eat, etc. And they're the words that stick in my mind. I've come home, and it's exactly what my family said to me too.
You mentioned it's nearly happened a couple of times. It has come to fruition this time. You've obviously done a great job down at Stevenage, who have kind of praised both parties for how they've handled it. Not an easy job to leave, but perhaps this challenge is too good to turn down. Yeah,
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Let me first clarify, Stevenage, very much like the Millers, have got a fantastic chairman and board, absolute super chairman, great infrastructure, smaller football club, but a really good football club with ambitions to be in the championship themselves. So what I've left behind is brilliant staff, really good players for League One and the level, and just simply a brilliant chairman and board and director of football. So everything I can say about Stevenage gets a huge tick for me. But as the chairman Phil Wallace knew that when the call came from Rotherham United a couple of days ago, it was always someone I spoke so highly of and so memorable of and so fondly of, and I think he knew that if the opportunity come to speak to the chairman and Richard and the board, I would say yes, and I did. And listen, it was 2 minutes of a chat. Do you want to come back? And the rest took care of itself very quickly.
We spoke to Tony last night, who's got a real excitement about him at the moment. Was that kind of a mutual one in those early conversations?
Oh, very much so. I've kept in touch with the chairman. Our chairman at Stevenage, Phil Wallace, knows that my relationship with Tony Stewart is well known in football. I've kept in touch with the chairman. Within days of leaving the football club, we were speaking, we met for dinner. He was at my daughter's wedding a few years ago, and still keeps in touch, and more just generic, nothing about specifics, generic family situations and times and things. And but when I got to make the opportunity to sit in front of the chairman a couple of days ago and actually speak to him about the opportunity, a real opportunity of coming back, then it was so exciting. It's fantastic to come here. My time here was unprecedented in terms of for me, and I just will try and win some football matches, not only for our chairman and Richard and the board, but our supporters, the supporters at Rotherham United. I've said it at every club I've managed, that once a Miller, always a Miller, and I think that's in my heart.
They say you should never kind of burn bridges in football, and you've certainly not done that, having kept your relationship with Tony. Are you a bit of a believer in fate? Do you think this might ever come to fruition once again?
I hoped, and I think there's a difference of hoping and really believing. I was hoping. I've seen the success as well the football club's had, but you're well aware I've been at Wembley on a number of occasions celebrating cup wins, and I've been celebrating promotions for the Millers. It's a club that's just simply been in there. And did I really believe? The first time I believed when the man we've spoken about, Tony Stewart, I refer to as chairman here, and just turned to me and he sought approval and knowledge and taking the box from his board, and said, Steve, you will be the next manager of the Millers. And what a feeling.
The reason that you're here is all the credentials that we know you've got, but as you say, your timeline's been different to ours. Have you gone away and learnt a lot as well in the time you've not been at Rotherham United?
Yeah, I've learnt lots. I've still got that passion, and as the Stevenage supporters will tell you, I've still got that passion to win football matches and contest decisions and everything that goes with it. I'll try now to do it in a more controlled fashion. But there's things that's ingrained in me at this football club. The supporters will note on Saturday that when they walk into the ground tomorrow, I'm back on the bench at the home end. I'm back. I've asked for that to happen. I asked the chairman's approval, who easily ticked the box, and we had to make sure it was right with the EFL and everything like that. But it was. I want to, when we score goals, I want to be celebrating like I did before with the fans and our fans. And so from our point of view, it's just a special feeling. Walk back into New York. I've come as visiting manager, as you know. and left with my tail between my legs a few times. But I've never fell short of applauding supporters here because they're tremendous people.
You're such an ambitious individual that some people on the outside might look and think, how on earth does he go about achieving the success he had the first time around? But I know, knowing you, you'll be wanting to go and better it.
Yeah, you repeat it to start with and you better it, don't you? You know, I have a clear objective now. The reason that from a chairman and board's point of view here, that the move got expedited was the chairman and the board felt that they wanted me to have a full assessment of the playing staff, the infrastructure, what we needed, and to present my plans to the board a few days after the completion of the season, you know, when we've played Cardiff City here. So from our point of view, I've come back in, it's a quick assessment. Listen, we'll be competing for promotion next season, there's no doubt about that, but there's no point in talking about it and not delivering it. So I just have an objective, as the chairman says, go away quietly now and assess over the next 2 or 3 weeks, Sam, and then put in place a squad that, you know, a lot will still be here, so it's not, you know, us and them, it's a lot will still be here and playing a big part when we're winning football matches out here and bringing some of the great days and nights that the supporters and our board deserve.
You mentioned those conversations early doors, the assessments you've made of the players. How have the first couple of days been with the lads?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, first and foremost, we've got some really good players. They've been low in confidence, and you could see that, you know, when I first walk into the training facility. And, you know, but from our point of view, it's a bit instilling that confidence the next 2 or 3 weeks, reminding players of how good they are, because some of them are really good players. They've not demonstrated it. We've got a couple of weeks of training and 3 games to help them believe in themselves again. But, you know, from our point of view, this is a squad that finds itself relegated. In my opinion, shouldn't be. That's my opinion. But we are where we are, so we'll have a look individually and assess who wants to and who should go forward with us.
Does coming in at this time of the season help you as a manager? You get to make those assessments on players, and perhaps people that thought they might be leaving at the end of their contracts, you may favour and ask to stay.
Yeah, very much so. I've taken the opportunity, but by probably Tuesday, Wednesday next week, I'll have had a 15-20 minute chat individually, one-on-one with me and whatever player. I've already had that opportunity to address it with some of the senior boys, and you know, some of those lads are out of contract, and we're probably expecting from previous discussions there'll be nothing here. I have different opinions. Football's about opinions. I have different opinions on some of them. I've watched a lot of Miller's games, home and away. I've got my own opinions, and the beautiful thing about being in here for the next 2 or 3 weeks is being able to watch the boys at first hand, on and off the pitch, and then you get a true feeling. I get the feeling, can I mould him into what will be a team competing for promotion next season?
Some of those you want to keep private, of course, those conversations, but from those initial meetings with the players, what have you kind of outlined as your expectations?
I think the expectations are that everyone works really hard for the next 3 weeks. Everyone dedicates themselves, because the simple options here, we all understand that Rotherham United have been relegated. But if there's any players that want to move on, and some will, we understand that players might want to say, but what they have to do in between times is play really well. They have to play some good football. They have to be, there'll be other clubs if there is other clubs interested or are leaving the club on a free transfer. They still have to play really well, because they're getting assessed by other managers and other oppositions that they might feel can do good work for them. So the meetings have been good. The boys have had a great response yesterday. We hope for a good response today, and listen, we're taking on a real giant tomorrow in Birmingham City. But I look forward to competing with Gary. I've got the utmost respect for him and his players. But you know, this is our stadium. This is our place. This is the New York Stadium. This is Rotherham, and we're looking forward to competing. On
the subject of responses, I can kind of feel the juices flowing already. And I don't think you're a massive social media user, but have you kind of felt the love since the news of your appointment has broke? Yeah, very much so. Listen, I arrived at training ground yesterday very early, and there's about 10 or 12 supporters, and they're waiting to see me and have a chat with me. And I said to you, I've gone for a dinner in the town and stopped for fuel and different things, and it's been an amazing response, even outside the stadium when we finished training yesterday. The response has been amazing. All I can offer them is that what I did before, which I'll give it my life, I'll give it everything. My family's bought into that. They realise that I go to Rotherham United. My life before was Rotherham United, not family.
And so from my point of view, they know I'll give them everything I've got. And I have to say that if we get it right in the summer, it's all about the summer and recruitment and positivity. When we get that, not if we get it right, when we get it right, they'll see a brilliant product come the start of the season.
You mentioned the dugouts have changed for Saturday. Just how much are you looking forward to that first walk back to what is the home dugout?
Oh, very much so. I was very proud. I can remember the first day I walked out there in terms of a league fixture was Burton Albion at home in League Two, and I walked out and it was a full stadium. The atmosphere around the stadium before the game was fantastic. I walked out, the supporters were just brilliant. We want to get back. The days I had here and Paul Warren had to a degree was supporters on the edge of the seats and on the feet, and the atmospheres here have been terrific, and we need to get back to that. But we have to inspire them, Tom. As a team, as players, as staff, we have to inspire these supporters, because supporters are like all our families. They go to work in a different industry, they work so hard all week. Their get out is going to support the town and the club they love. So we're going to try and get that back where it's a bit proud and wearing your shirt and want to be a real part of it, because without them, Tony Stewart would be the first man to admit it. He is the custodian. The real people at this football club come and sit in the seats every week and help us. So we're going to need their help at times on Saturday, but we're going to need their help this time next season when we're trying to go that way.
We mentioned the buzz around the place and how it'll be electric pretty much here tomorrow afternoon. Is it about now for you trying to maintain that atmosphere around the place as you carry it through into a new season?
Yeah, we will have total positivity. There can be no negativity around it. There's been enough negativity since the football club was relegated. Just go and spend 20 minutes with Tony Stewart. See how positive he is about now, next season, summer before next season. We understand a lot of the oppositions will play next season, probably all apart from 2 or 3 clubs. I'm inspired by that. This is Rotherham United going into League One. I'm inspired by it. We're a top club at that kind of level. And in fact, we all know it should be Championship football here every week. And that's what we've come to put in place.
Final one before you get your boots on and head out to training. Will you sleep tonight?
I've hardly slept a wink since the opportunity come. That there's a difference of an opportunity where you go for a chat with the chairman and Richard and the board. That's a different apprehension to when you sit at probably in the third meeting in the space of 18 hours and the chairman turns around and says, you will be the next manager of Rotherham United if you want it. That's the first opportunity that was ever presented me to come here since I left, despite speculation, and I couldn't wait to say yes. I've been a proud man managing this club before, and I'm really proud I'm back.